Hi guys, so I should now be live. This has been very problematic, and you are seeing the total mess that is my room behind me. Let me just check to make sure nothing seems to be happening. Have I shared the wrong video? Oh, I hate technology. Okay, I'm here. I can see myself. Yay me. That's always a good start. So yeah, hi. So today I am just going to be doing some live crafting. It's completely unplanned and unprepared, but as some of you know, I've just been doing my excuse me 30-day Christmas card making challenge, which has now come to an end as of yesterday. So it's a good kind of sign off just to create the card that I shared yesterday. So for those of you who haven't seen it yet, it is this card here. So it's using some of the stamps and dies from Papertrey Ink, as well as some other dies from Laura Valora, which is a Spanish company, I believe. So shall we get started? I am just gonna go to my desk view, and that hasn't worked. Technology. Why won't it work? One moment, please. If in doubt, reset and start again. Oh, this is awful. Desk view. Right. Camera's off. Camera should be on. Why is it not connecting? Right. Hold on. Okay. Who's with me? This is awful. So now that works, shall we get started? I am so sorry, but let's do this. So we have the card that I was saying about earlier. And I've also got my coffee here because you know me. I need my caffeine. So this card is probably my favourite card that I created for the whole 30-day challenge. Um, yeah, I just love every single thing about it. The colours, to the texture, which I don't think you can really see well on camera, but it has just got little fluffy lifts, which is super cute. The 25 days representing the day of Christmas. The challenge theme was countdown, so I thought like it needed to have some type of number element to it. So yeah, I thought it was really fun. Let's get started, shall we? So let's pull my coffee out of the way. I'm gonna have a sip and move that to one side. That's gonna go cold very quickly. So what I've got is I've got my trimmer, and I'm gonna grab some cherry cobbler cardstock from Stampin' Up. Oh, I've got lots of scrap flying everywhere. Let's just grab this, and I'm going to create a top folding card because that's just what I like. And then fold at or score at 14.8. I'm just going to fold that over and reinforce that fold. And then let's use some of this scrap here to cut our matte layer, which is 13.8 by 9.5. So, this is when me being really ill prepared for this live is going to be horrendous because I need the ink pad, which is behind me. So, cherry cobbler ink pad. I am using the Papertrey ink Big Sentiments, which is a fabulous set. So you get the stamp set, which has these big sentiments, which is ho 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 ho. And I've used both of these on this project because why not? And you get all these little slim kind of sentiments as well as these kind of chunky but hollow ones. I don't know if you can see very well if I hold it up to the camera a little bit closer. They're very merry and sending and a joy or a jolly up there. So it's quite linear, which is always good fun. So I'm going to grab that ho ho ho. And we're going with the chunky one to create the background. So this originally wasn't on kind of my plan, but I did it in the end. Lord knows why. And I'm just going to flip this around, ink it up. And I'm just going to create a super quick background by stamping this in a repetitive manner across the card. So like so. And this is what I really loved about it, is because that tone on tone effect, it creates a really graphic design style and look to it, which is just really fun. And I mean, I'm not being too precise with it. I'm literally just stamping it at an angle. The chances are the card I did here was at a different angle. Oh, you can't even see it because my face is covering it. Let's bring that down, shall we? So you can see it. Was at a slightly different angle, but this is the blessing of having a handmade card. They're always going to be slightly different. And like so. We have the ho 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 background. I'm just going to grab a wipe because I have red ink everywhere now. Look at that, it's so messy. So messy. Let me grab my rag as well, just to quickly dry it off. And then we'll do some die cutting. So there is so much die cutting on this card, and that's completely okay, because sometimes a die cut shape really does make a card pop. So these are from Laura Ballora. They are that's the name there. Numbers Vintage, basically, but it's Spanish. So let's die cut these out of some gold cardstock. So I'm going to grab my die cutting machine and bring that in. It's weird having my face on camera as well. This isn't something I normally do. It makes me feel a little bit uneasy that you can see everything. But hey. So I'm going to stick those in to there. Actually, they fit quite nicely that way. Perfect. Run those through. And run those back. If we get all our elements done, it should be quick and easy, he says, to pull this card together. It is unfortunate, it's just the die cutting. It's just quite heavy on this project. So there I have my numbers, that can sit to one side. I'm also bringing in, now, the name of this eludes me, so I do apologise. It's Builder's Stocking from Papertrey. So there is this massive stitch stocking die, and then all these little accompaniments, which I've used throughout the challenge as well. But I'm just going to be focusing on the little feathers, or feathers, you know what I mean, flourishes, kind of foliage. Foliage is the word that I was looking for. So foliage is really pretty. Now I chose to use Eden Evergreen on the finished sample, but actually I feel like it was quite dark. It needed something with a little more contrast. So I would recommend kind of going for a different kind of breed if you kind of have one. But I've got a lot of scraps, so I might as well use what I've got. Let me just grab that. So you need 6 in total, which I know is a bit random, but hey. So let's use our scraps just to kind of waste not, want not. So I'm going to go 3 of each and roll those through. And now I have done some embossing on this, which I am not prepared for. I haven't set up my heat tool. But hey ho. So let's run that. So 1, 2, 1. Okay, might struggle to get 3 out of that, but hey, we'll give it a go. Run that through again. And 2. And I also don't have a bone folder, which is quite problematic because I am going to need one. So the question is, can I do it? The answer is no. But can it fit on here? It can. Wonderbar. So throw that away. Put that in. Run this through. So how is everyone today? Because you're all very quiet. Let's sound. Oh, maybe it's because I'm not signed in. I can't see the chat. That's not helpful, is it? You know what? Technology is not my friend. I am trying to... Oh, hold on. No, just nobody's chatting. That's okay. I will just sit here and I will craft and you can watch as you please. So there's my 6. And I mean, I'll tidy everything up afterwards. That's most of my die cutting done for now, but we'll need to do some heat embossing in a little bit, so we'll come back to that. Now we need to cut down some crumb cake. Now the measurements of this piece in the background, I don't actually know. So we're just going to go for 2.5 inches, which is too big, so it's about 1.5 inches. Actually, let's go 2. And we can always take more away. Yeah, I should have tried to snug up. So 1.5 inches. By how much? I think it's 9.5. Let's start. So this is where I need my bowing folder, which should just be behind me. And it is. So this is where we are going to need, just so I can see. You're going to grab your bone folder and you're going to literally run it over the card, like so. And to start with, it's going to be quite challenging and you're going to be met with some resistance. But that's because you're breaking down the fibres in that card. And you're going to want to do it both ways because you're going to pull the 2 sheets apart. And the texture we create in this background is just gonna make all of the difference. Take this round and run that through again. I'm just gonna break the end down a little bit. Just running that over. And then you should start to see it come apart. So this is crumb cake from Stampin' Up. I don't remember if I said, but if you break it down enough, they'll start to come apart quite easily and you'll have 2 halves. Just be careful of any ripping. If you can avoid ripping, that's fantastic. But if not, it can't be helped because you are breaking down the fibres of the card. But you can see it just pulling apart like so. There you go. And I don't know if the camera can capture that texture. It's almost like an old suede effect, which is super cute. So you're going to use these 2 bits just to create like added interest. So you're going to offset them slightly and you're going to want to pick one to kind of distress a little bit. So you are going to want to rip it, you're going to want to curl the edges over, you want to curl these edges over where you can. Because all these little details are really going to help just build the final project and kind of create that little fun rustic look. And I mean, you can mess around with this as much as you like or dislike. So you can see there, I've literally just scrumpled it up. I've done a couple of little rips and tears, and then this one can just stay as it is. But I'm going to add some glue. Now, where's my glue? Glue, glue, glue. It's behind me. I'm just going to use some tape runner for ease. So let's just pop a little bit there. And then you're going to pop it behind at a slight angle. Just so it's not even. Like so. And then of course you can mess around with this bit in the background by just distressing it, make it look a little bit more tacky, and so on and so forth. Now this is where I need some foam adhesive, which I have lots of kind of open bits and pieces here, but let's just go for a new one because it's easier. There's one right here. So now we can start to assemble. Let's pull this off. And I'm just going to grab some foam adhesive for the back of this. Now I'm just going to go one either side and one in the middle. It's just to kind of help pop it up a little bit. But honestly, because it's so distressed, you're not really going to see much impact. And that's okay. So that's just going to sit on top like so. I mean, I wish I could zoom in a little bit. Maybe I can bring my camera down. Nope, I cannot do that. We won't try that again. So we've got this. Then we're going to have our numbers, which oh, that's all tangled up. I'm just going to flip round. Now I would position these first so that you can then go in afterwards with the kind of foliage, just to kind of work out where it's all needed. Now these are just going to be one-dimensional high on both. I like dimension. If you know my cards, you know there's a lot of dimension in them, but yeah, I'm just going to go one high. Is that hanging over? No. And then we're just going to lay them on top of that kind of green element. I might need two dimensionals high here, just because that's hanging off the top. So I might just get that ready now in preparation. 1 and 2. And then I'm just going to pop that on. So we have the 2, and then we have the 5. So you could quite easily pop that off on an extra dimensional, just purely so that it has some kind of difference and shadow behind it. However, I was quite conscious of adding too much dimension to this card, because I know what I'm like. Let's just try and get that straight. There we go. So there's our 2 and 5 on. And I mean, just sticking a sentiment on that as it is would look really sweet. But we're gonna just add to it, and we can add more, we can add less. We can still distress this background a little bit, just so we have a point of difference. Just gonna add a little bit of adhesive on the back here. So I'm just gonna pop that in there. And then we're going to have another one just popping out the side. And you can see I'm not putting a lot of adhesive on, because it is literally just a tiny little bit that's needed. And then you can see all of the difference, which I love. So popping that behind there. Oh, got a bit of glue everywhere, but hey. So that's there. Let's pop one here. I think I only did 5 on this card, which is strange because I'm sure I did 6, but hey. So this one's going to go underneath here, and then I'm going to grab another small one, a little bit of glue underneath there. So my plans for the rest of today is I've got a show on Hobby Maker, on whatever day it is, Tuesday, featuring Diamond Press. So that's really fun. And again, there's Christmas product in that, so I'm really excited for that. Then, so I need to prep all of my classes or demos for that. I've got 3 shows, so I need about 9 demos, which is a lot. So I need to make some designs. I have got some designs from the 30-day card making challenge, which I'm just going to rip off and use to kind of make my life a little easier. I'm going to grab my scissors here. I'm just going to cut these tails. I've chose the bluntest scissors I probably have. I've just had to buy new scissors because of how blunt some of them are gone. So I've just tied a little bow with some linen thread, again from Stampin' Up, but you can buy this on Amazon. It's called like jute twine. I think it's fantastic, and it just adds a little extra to your card. So there's that. So now we just need to stamp our sentiment. So I'm going to turn off my face cam while I go and get my heat tool plugged in, because it's not plugged in. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know where it is. Where is it? Oh. Okay, well, let's turn it on to start with, and then we'll go. There's the plug socket. Where is my heat tool? We might not be having this card in a moment. Ah, there it is. Tangled up in a load of wires. Right, where's face cam? Hi. So, got my heat tool. I use the Sizzix heat tool now. It's fantastic. It has 2 settings as well, which works really nicely compared to other heat tools that just have 1 setting. Just gonna wipe off the stamp. Because it's already stained. Because with like pink pigments, stainage on photopolymer stamps is quite common, and it's absolutely okay. It doesn't impact the functionality of your stamp at all. So I'm going to grab that ho ho ho, the other ho ho ho, stick that on my acrylic block, like so. Now, I did have some scrap lying around, which I haven't picked up. I don't know where it's gone. This is my scrap pile, which I need to put away. So it's not there. So it'll be behind me. And this is what I love about having everything so close to me now. Because it's so easy just to grab things out as you need. And actually, I believe this has adhesive tape on. So I'm actually going to use that because that's going to be really helpful. So let's just pick that up and put that to one side. Just pulled that bow off tilter. Let's get that there. I'm going to try die cutting this first and then stamping it off. Very risky, I know, but I struggle to get it right. And hopefully this way will let me do it right. It says roll this through. Ooh. I have just brought the Spellbinders die cutting machine, and yeah, die cutting machine. I've got their big one, I've got their small one, and I've got their hot foil system. I've got their letterpress system. I've got it all. Just go big or go home, right? So I will be setting my stamping up on soon. So if you want a die cutting machine but cheap, keep an eye out on my online store. So all of my D-stash stuff does get kind of listed online. So it's shop.martinsmayhem.com. You can go ahead, you can buy stuff, I will post it out to you, and it just kind of means I can keep buying stuff. Because believe it or not at the point where people send me stuff for free. Which is okay. I shouldn't expect stuff for free. I don't expect stuff for free. Things cost money, and we should pay our dues. So, ink this up in Versamark. And then, excuse my head on camera, but I want to try and get it on there. And then, shoot, wipe it. And to dip it in. Like so. And you know what, that's just as bad as the first one. And that's okay, because I know I'm the problem, not the product. So I'm just going to heat set that. Oh, that was still hot. So there you have your ho ho ho. The sun has gone away. It's just gone really, really down. And then we have some adhesive strip on the back here. Now it's only on half, and that's okay because I only need it on half. I want to try and pull these bits out though, if I can. Because it's going to sit at an angle, move this out of the way, across the card, like so. And again, because I was concerned about the height, I did just stick that straight to the 25. However, you could put like a little dimensional behind the hoe if you wanted to, or the O under the hoe. But we should just be able to stick our little bow underneath now. So if I just grab the O and place a dollop of glue, this can then just let me pop this underneath and pop it down like so. So there we have our little bow, and all what's left to do is our other sentiment and an ink splatter, and then this card is done. So I actually did this on vanilla on this card because I thought vanilla would work well, but it kind of looks off. But I'm going to stick with it. It's the original plan, let's go with it. So taking that ho off, I'll tidy it up later. Wishing you a joyous Christmas is that tiny little sentiment. Now I'm just going to lay that down and let it find its kind of self. And then I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to grab my ink, which is Espresso ink. Because we're going with all those nice rich tones. And I'm just going to stamp it along the bottom, like so. Super small detail, but it is really effective. Now this is going to be popped up on a dimensional, so let's cut this down. So I like to line the edge of my sentiment up with the edge of my stanza, or the edge of my runner, I should say, and then the same along the top. And then you have a nice straight sentiment, which can just be popped up across like so. So let's grab our mini dimensionals. Let's do this. Actually, let's cut it down before I get too carried away, like I do. Now I cut mine at an angle, just to create some added interest. Now that I've got that angle that way, to get it to match on the other side, I can just hold that piece against the other edge, like so, and cut along that line. So then you know the angles are the same size, both sides. Small little trick, but really effective. I apologise for the dog running around upstairs and banging. Sean is probably doing it deliberately because we had an argument just before I came live. Because, you know, we are a normal, dysfunctional family. So popping that on at the same angle as the ho-ho-ho. I'm going to grab some gold splatter. So I have, he says, give it a good shake. Winsor Newton gold ink. There you go. So this stuff is fantastic. It will literally, if I turn it around, can you see that shimmer? So this is writing ink, but it is honestly the best thing for ink splatter going. And I mean, when I was a sample demonstrator, I would be like saying, "Oh, it's just embossing powder." It's not. It was always this, because it's so freaking good. And you can get this just off of Amazon. I love Winsor Newton as a company. I use a lot of their watercolors as well, but their drawing ink is fantastic. So I've got an old aqua painter, and I'm just gonna dip it in and give it a little splatter. Now, never have too much in my opinion. And that's just a light splatter, so it's all based on kind of your brush size and kind of how much ink is on it. If you have a lot of ink on it, you'll find that it will be bigger splatters, but can you see that ink splatter? Isn't it gorgeous? It just makes such a difference. So I'm going to let that just dry for a second, and I'm going to grab my neutral sequin assortment from Concord and Knife. Now, if you are looking for sequins in gold, silver and clear, this is what you need, because it's fantastic. Now, I've got a link on this blog post to take you to Concord and Knight's website, where you can purchase these yourself. But you can just see how glorious they are. And you've got clear, you've got silver, and you've got gold. So key colours that you need. So I'm going to pop these in to the lid like so. And I just do a small selection. And the reason why I do a small selection is just I can easily pick out the ones that I want. And I've got my picky tool from Crafty Marky. And I'm going to do an odd number. So we're going to go 5. And we're going to triangulate it around the sentiment. Like so. So we're going to go for a nice big one here. A medium sized one here. And a diddy one. Oh, no, not a diddy one. A nearly diddy one there. No, I went for a big one, but I don't have a big one. So where have I put them? Yeah. Grab a few more. So there's one. Pop that just in there, slightly popping out, just to add some interest. And then I want a diddy one to go there. And now all that's left to do is to attach it to our card base, and we are done. So let's just grab that and grab our roll of adhesive. And we just need to flip this round. Now you can leave it to dry, but it looks about dry to me. Oh, I'm not even on the camera. There we go. So it looks about dry, so I'm just going to flip it around. And I'm using my Ultra New foam adhesive. Now this stuff is immense. So it's huge. So let's just grab this. So I used to use, what did I used to use? I can't think what it's called. Artesa kind of foam, or it was mounting adhesive. But honestly, oh hi Catherine, you okay? But honestly, it discontinued, and I argued with that company about bringing it back. I was like, even if I have to buy 5 a month, bring it back for me. So, while it was done on my card, it was dry. It's not quite dry on my mat, which is unfortunate. So I have got a couple of markings, but how? It's just a little ink splatter, so it's fine. Grabbing this. Catherine looks to be getting in the festive spirit by putting up a Christmas tree. Bless her, she goes Christmas crazy. She is definitely the queen of Christmas, if ever anybody was. So pull that off, flip this round, and then just line it up onto our card base. Like so. Give it a little push, give it a little squeeze. And there you have the card. And I mean, it's just so joyous. And to me, I think it's so Christmassy. So there you have the original against the one we made today. And they're just really fun. So I know this is very, very chaotic to start with, because let me swap to my face view. I could not get anything to work. And I mean, I was about to go live yesterday, but I spent 40 minutes trying to set this up, and it just did not work right. So the fact that we got it sorted in a couple of minutes is a blessing, quite frankly. But I'm learning, and my coffee is now cold. But hey, drink it up. Now I have a mustache. But hey. Okay, so I really have a mustache. Catherine, I can't see. Why can't I see these comments fully? Let me just drag this out. There you go. Going to be using my number dies and doing something similar. You know what? I was a bit and about putting like the 25 on there, but actually I think it makes all the difference, which I really enjoy, and it's very kind of graphical, which I like. We know this, but I'm gonna sign off. Thank you guys for watching, and again, apologies about the crazy mayhem at the very start.